Why are people, not just in Burkina Faso, but across the African continent, taking to the streets to defend Ibrahim Traoré? Why are youth declaring that if Ibrahim Traoré is touched, they will rise, fight, and even die for him? Why are chants of "Long live the captain" echoing from Ouagadougou to Accra, from Bamako to the African diaspora in Europe? What has he done that made generals in Washington nervous, presidents in Paris go silent, and millions of Africans see him as the only leader worth trusting? In a continent scarred by puppets and plunder, what makes this man so different? What has Captain Ibrahim Traoré done to become not just a president, but a symbol? In this video, let's find out. Ibrahim Traoré was never the politician in waiting, never the handshaking general in a suit waiting for his turn at the top. He was a soldier, a fighter, a son of the Sahel, trained not in boardrooms, but on the dusty front lines of Burkina Faso's war against insurgency. When insurgents turned northern provinces into blood-soaked no-go zones, Traoré didn't give press briefings. He gave orders. He led units into the bush, repelled ambushes, buried comrades, and watched promises from politicians and international allies fall flat. So when he led the second coup of 2022, toppling Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, it wasn't a quest for power. It was an act of rupture. Damiba had himself taken power just months before, promising a security overhaul. But nothing changed. In fact, under his watch, insurgency intensified, soldiers died in greater numbers, and morale sank to its lowest point. To Traoré and the young officers surrounding him, the system wasn't broken. It was rigged. Rigged by foreign interests, compromised generals, and decades of neo-colonial dependence. That's why the coup wasn't just a change in uniform. It was a cry from inside the military machine itself. And yet, it wasn't the seizure of power that earned Traoré the people's respect. Coups are not rare in West Africa. But what came next was unprecedented. Within months of taking office, Traoré did what many African leaders had only whispered behind closed doors. He gave France a deadline. By early 2023, French forces, including the 400-strong Operation Sabre unit stationed in Burkina Faso, were told to pack up and leave. No negotiations, no extensions, no apologies. To Western diplomats, it was irrational, even dangerous. How could a country under attack from insurgents afford to alienate its oldest military partner? But to the people of Burkina Faso, and to millions across Africa watching from their smartphones, Traoré's decision wasn't foolish. It was brave. It was the start of something bigger. Because for decades, France's presence had been framed as so-called security assistance. But on the ground, it looked like occupation. French troops were stationed near gold mines and key borders. Foreign companies held licenses to extract Burkina Faso's wealth, while the country received crumbs in return. Meanwhile, insurgent groups still roamed free. Traoré broke that pattern. By cutting military ties with France and canceling unjust agreements, he sent a message that echoed far beyond Ouagadougou. Africa doesn't need foreign troops to solve problems that foreign governments helped create. He wasn't just kicking out soldiers. He was dismantling an illusion. The illusion that development must come from dependence, that sovereignty must wait for approval from Brussels or Paris. And if there was still any doubt about where Traoré stood, he made his next move count. In early 2023, Traoré launched SOPAMIB, or Société de Participation Minière du Burkina, a state-run mining entity with one mission: reclaim the gold. Burkina Faso is one of Africa's top gold producers, yet its people have remained among the continent's poorest. For years, foreign companies, many registered in London or Toronto, extracted billions in gold and gave back little more than royalty scraps. SOPAMEB changed the rules. It moved swiftly to gain control of two major industrial gold sites previously operated by multinational giants. But this wasn't a hostile takeover. It was a constitutional correction. Traoré insisted that the resources under Burkinabe's soil must benefit the Burkinabe people first, not foreign shareholders. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. Then came the deal with Russia's Nordgold in 2025, a clear pivot eastward. The project, approved by the Council of Ministers, would bring in 51.5 billion CFA francs, or $89 million, to the national budget, and another 7 billion CFA to Burkina Faso's Mineral Wealth Fund. For the first time, the country wasn't just exporting raw materials. It was negotiating on its own terms, using its resources as leverage, not liabilities. But this wasn't just about gold. It was about dignity. Sopamib symbolized a broader doctrine, resource nationalism. It meant that Burkina Faso would no longer be looted in plain sight. It meant the country's future would be decided in Ouagadougou, not in European boardrooms. And this doctrine, rooted in sovereignty and economic self-determination, hasn't just reshaped Burkina Faso. It has stirred something far greater, a regional awakening. From Mali to Niger, movements are rising, emboldened by a leader who doesn't bow. It has even reached Ghana. In the vast sea of suits, silk ties, and polished political pageantry that marked Ghana's 2025 presidential inauguration, one figure cut through the noise like a storm. It was Ibrahim Traoré. When the cameras found him, the applause erupted. Not polite claps, not the scripted ovations reserved for foreign dignitaries. This was thunder, raw, organic, and deafening. It echoed across Accra and into the hearts of millions watching across the continent. Africa saw not a politician, but a protector, not a puppet, but a Pan-African patriot. And social media responded accordingly. Memes of the armed president flooded timelines. Artists began sketching him alongside Sankara. TikTok videos, tweets, and threads started spreading under a new mantra. If Traoré is touched, we riot. But beneath the virality was something deeper. A realization that this young man from Burkina Faso had tapped into something rare, hope that doesn't ask for permission. This growing support didn't go unnoticed. And in the cold, bureaucratic corridors of Western power, the alarm bells started ringing. On live television during a U.S. congressional hearing in April 2025, AFRICOM Commander General Michael Langley dropped the mask. He labeled Traoré a person of interest. His justification? Burkina Faso's gold, once quietly funneled to Western markets, was now being used to fund security operations and deepen military partnerships with countries outside the Western orbit. He pointed to signs of coordination with Russia, increasing intelligence sharing, and hints of a new axis of African resistance forming. In Washington's sanitized language, it was a policy concern. But to millions of Africans, it was confirmation. The revolution was real. And it was working. Because the truth is, the West doesn't fear weapons. It fears sovereignty. And Traoré was building it. One mind, one policy, one speech at a time. You see, General Langley's statement was supposed to intimidate. Instead, it galvanized. By April 30th, the streets of Ouagadougou transformed into a roaring wave of revolution. Tens of thousands swarmed Place de la Révolution, not in fear, but in fury. Women, children, elders, students, farmers, all waving Burkinabe and Russian flags, chanting "Long live Captain Traoré," with an intensity not seen since Sankara's era. The air was electric. Homemade signs mocked Langley's declaration. One read, "If he's a threat to you, he's a hero to us." Another, more chilling, held a stark warning. "Traoré is Africa's son. Try us." The demonstrations were not only patriotic, they were pan-African. Delegations from Mali and Niger joined in solidarity. Youth movements in Senegal and Togo held sister protests. Social media campaigns adopted a new slogan, "Hands off F. Traoré." It became clear the man wasn't just president of Burkina Faso anymore. He had become a living emblem of African resistance. But with adoration comes danger. and every symbol of freedom invites attempts at destruction. Just weeks before the April protests, Traoré's government publicly revealed that a coup plot had been intercepted. The suspects included high-ranking officers, some allegedly in communication with foreign agents. Others were tied to political families with deep connections to French intelligence. The State Intelligence Service disclosed that encrypted communications were traced to safe houses in neighboring countries, a clear sign that external support had been offered to destabilize the Burkinabe transition. Assassination rumors swirled. Some whispered of drone targeting, others of poison or foreign mercenaries. Traoré could have fled to a hidden bunker. Instead, he walked through Ouagadougou in daylight, unarmored, unshaken. At a public event, he looked into the cameras and said only, "We are not afraid. We are ready." That sentence alone rippled across the continent, and it wasn't just bluster. It was a challenge to the West, to their African proxies, to anyone who still believed Africa's future would be decided in embassies and think tanks. Today, if you ask a young African who inspires them, the answer won't come from Geneva or New York. It will come from Ouagadougou. Traoré's rise, from an anonymous artillery officer to one of Earth's most feared and admired leaders, is not just a political journey. It is a cultural reawakening. He has expelled colonial troops, nationalized mineral wealth, called out Western hypocrisy, stared down coup attempts, and perhaps most radically, trusted his people to protect him. This is what makes him different. He is not asking Africa to believe in him. He is showing Africa how to believe in itself. And that's what scares the empire the most. When history is written, will Traoré be remembered as just a transitional president? Or will he be remembered as the ignition point, the captain who shook empires, restored courage, and redefined what African leadership can look like? That answer won't come from newspapers or foreign analysts. It will come from you. Do you stand with Ibrahim Traoré in his fight against imperialists? Should more leaders follow Traoré's unapologetic path of sovereignty and solidarity, or is he a rare exception in a system too broken to fix? In the comment section below, share your thoughts on how millions of Africans would respond if Ibrahim Traoré is attacked. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.